Hey everyone, today we are going to discuss the causative organism of a common childhood illness, that is chickenpox. The infection is caused by VZV or varicella zoster virus. Varicella zoster virus is very similar to herpes simplex virus in its morphology, and it is a DNA virus and belongs to herpes family. In the human body, VZV has its reservoir in human mucosa and in the nerves. If we talk about its transmission and spreads, this virus predominantly spreads through respiratory routes but can also spread through physical contact. Let us try understanding pathogenesis of VZV infection. As we know, it spreads through respiratory routes. Once it enters in our body, it travels to lymph nodes and rapidly replicates and spreads to liver and spleen, which are its target organs. This is called primary viremia. The virus is then released to body to cause secondary viremia characterized by skin rash called chickenpox. This condition is very common in children. Once the rash has subsided, the virus travels to the dorsal root ganglia where it remains latent for several decades. You can clearly understand the pathogenesis of VZV infection by the animation shown above in the video. Now let us move towards chickenpox or skin rash, which is the exanthematous fever which is very common in children. It is characterized by fever, malaise, sore throat, and more importantly, asynchronous rash like this child is suffering from. A closer view of his rash reveals reddish bumps, ulcers, and fluid-filled vesicles to healing scabs at the same time. The development of live attenuated vaccine drastically reduced the number of chickenpox infection caused by varicella zoster virus. As compared to shingles, which is the latent form of disease, these bumps and blisters are not very painful. Now I'm going to discuss about the shingles, which literally means belt-like. It is caused by the reactivation of virus from the dorsal root ganglia at a later stage in life. It is very painful and associated with transfer of the virus along the nerves. It is usually seen in the 5th or 6th decade of life. It is characterized by belt-like rash or a unilateral vesicle which is associated with only one dermatome. That is the area supplied by a single spinal nerve, can be seen on waist, back, shoulder, face, or anywhere else on the body. As I've told you before, shingles is the latent form of disease and it is quite painful. But remember, you can only have shingles if you have had chickenpox before. Shingles might be latent form of disease, but it is still contagious and can spread through physical contact. Now, let us move towards the diagnosis of the condition, which is pretty much straightforward because of the characteristic clinical appearance. For the confirmation of the diagnosis, Zank smear can be used, which shows multinucleated giant cells. Another method can be used, which is viral isolation in cell culture, which is rarely used. For the treatment of VZV infections, supportive care is the best. In healthy individuals, oral acyclovir can be prescribed, but in immunocompromised patients, IV acyclovir may need to be administered. But it is important to remember aspirin should not be prescribed with acyclovir as there is a risk of Reye's syndrome. While treating VZV, acyclovir have limited effectiveness. This is all about varicella zoster virus. Hope you liked the video. Thank you so much.